Hi, I'm Holly from Twinkl, and in today's Twinkl read-along, I'm going to be reading The Making of Milton. Let's check out the blurb. Milton finds that almost everything frightens him. But one day he makes a mysterious new friend who claims to have the solution to his problem. Can some magic change the way that Milton sees the world and himself? Now, let's have a look at the story. I'll tell you about Milton's life before he got so scared. He used to be adventurous, but now he never dared. Oh, Milton, he's a brave young boy, is what they used to say. He goes on fun adventures almost every single day. He climbs up all the tallest trees, then swings down on a rope. He rides his bike up long steep hills and races down the slopes. But as he had grown older, he had somehow lost his way. He found a new thing scared him every time he went to play. He felt afraid at football games and always stood aside. He worried that he'd hurt himself, and so he never tried. He never used his bike because he thought it went too fast. He feared that he would tumble off as everything rushed past. Let's have a look at this page. What's on his bike? Why are there cobwebs on his bike? Yes, that's right, because he's not been on it for such a long time because he's scared. He couldn't sleep in darkness and made sure he used a light. He pictured monsters lurking as he hid in bed each night. The one thing Milton still enjoyed was sitting with a book. He felt quite safe and out of harm when nestled in a nook. Wow, I love his little nook. Can you see it? But one day, as he read his latest book upon the ground, a blinding flash appeared with an extraordinary sound. Then Milton saw a wizard had appeared among the smoke. He held a staff and wore a hat that matched his flowing cloak. "I'm here to help," the wizard said. "I have the perfect thing." He held a jar in front of him and then began to sing. "Inside you'll find your courage, for I know you've missed it so. With this you will feel brave again. Now I must up and go." Can you see the jar of courage? What do you think's inside it? With that, the wizard vanished and left Milton standing there. He held the jar of courage and he couldn't help but stare. A jar of courage, Milton thought. I wonder if it's true. He put the jar away while he considered what to do. When Milton got back home, he grabbed his bike without delay. He hopped onto the saddle and then headed on his way. He pedalled up the steepest hill and pushed with all his might. And when he reached the top, he said, "This isn't such a fright." So Milton's on his bike again. He flew downhill without a thought and whizzed past homes and trees, then cycled to the football field, now feeling more at ease. When Milton saw his friends were there, he chose to stop and play. They kicked the ball to Milton and he played with them all day. And though he fell down many times, he loved it all the same. He had a blast with all his friends and they were glad he came. The jar had given all his courage back to him once more. It really works, thought Milton, as he sat down on the floor. He picked his backpack up and slowly opened it with care. He reached inside to find the jar, but all he found was air. The jar was gone and Milton's heart began to fill with dread. "I cannot cope without that jar. It makes me brave," he said. Was it the jar of courage that made him brave? He raced to find the wizard and it didn't take him long. Then Milton parked his bike and told the wizard what was wrong. "My jar has gone," cried Milton as he wiped away his tears. "It helps me to feel brave again. It took away my fears." The wizard smiled and then he said, "That simply isn't true. That jar was never special. All that courage came from you. You didn't need to use the jar. Your heart was always strong. Your courage never left, you see. You had it all along." Again, the wizard disappeared, no sign of him around, and Milton sat and wondered, has my courage now been found? He'd faced his biggest fears that day, like riding down a hill, and football didn't scare him now. It just gave him a thrill. The sun was going down as Milton walked through his front door. He'd loved his fun adventure, and tomorrow he'd have more. He climbed into his cosy bed, then turned off the light. He didn't even think about it being dark all night. The next day, nothing held him back from going out to play. With courage in my heart, he said, "I'll tackle every day." Did the magic change how Milton saw himself? Was it the jar of courage? Or was it inside him all along? Don't forget to check out the rest of our read-alongs on the YouTube channel. And of course, have a look at the Twinkl store for more Twinkl original books.